So friends, welcome. We are going to talk about the filter circuit. Under this group of experiments, we have got 4 experiments. The filter circuits are divided into 2 parts. One is called the high pass filter, the other is called the low pass filter. And the high pass filter we can make with the help of T filter and pi filter. Similarly, the low pass filter we can make with the help of T filter and pi filter. So under this group of experiments, we will study the high pass T filter, the high pass pi filter, the low pass T filter and low pass pi filter. Now Dr. Lili Rao will demonstrate the experiment of low pass T filter.
Hello, good morning friends. Today we will be discussing about the filter circuit. A filter, you know what is it? It will allow a band of frequencies to pass and it will stop the another band of frequencies. That is the meaning. So we will. There are different types of filters are there. First we will consider a low pass filter. Low pass filter means, from the name itself we can see that low frequencies will be allowed to pass through it and high frequency signals will be attenuated. That is the meaning. So here we will be demonstrating a low pass T filter. Why it is called a T filter? Because the shape of the diagram is in the form of T. Here you can see an inductor, another inductor and a capacitor. Inductor 1, inductor 2 and C. This is configured in the shape of a T. That's why it is known as a T filter. And we will do the experiment and we can see that how the low frequency signals are allowed to pass and the high frequency signals are attenuated, that you can see from the experiment. So before going to the experiment, we can see the 2 instruments we are going to use. One is a function generator that we are going to connect at the input of this network, and here we have a AC millivoltmeter. This we are going to measure the input voltage as well as the output voltage. So we want to do the frequency response of the filter. That means by keeping the input voltage constant, we will be varying the frequency of the input signal. For different frequency of the input signal, we will be measuring the output voltage. So frequency response means how the output voltage varies with respect to frequency. That is the meaning. How the output voltage varies with respect to frequency by keeping the input voltage constant. So we will be keeping input voltage at 20 millivolt constant, and we will be varying the input frequency of the input signal by 10 Hertz, 20 Hertz, 30 Hertz, like that. We will go up to some maximum level. For all the different frequencies, we will be measuring the output voltage. So here come to this function generator. Here you can measure the input voltage constant at 20 millivolt. A CRO probe is connected to it. That will be connected to the input of this network, and the negative is connected to the negative of the network. Now we want to measure the input voltage. For that, the AC millivoltmeter will be connected at the input. That is, this is a positive of the AC millivoltmeter that is connected to this, negative of the AC millivoltmeter that is connected to the negative of this network. That means you can measure the input voltage. You can put it on here. Now put it on. Now here on this function generator, there are, this is the corner knob is here, that is for varying the amplitude. Amplitude we can vary with this, so you can vary this. Vary this. So before going to that, you can first you keep the frequency. Frequency you can start from 10 hertz. You can make it as 10 hertz. So you can make it as 10 hertz. So here first if you press this, that will be going to 30. That means up to 30 hertz you can vary the frequency here. We can vary the frequency up to 30 hertz. So first we will keep it as 10 hertz. 10 hertz. Then now here there are different knobs you can see: frequency, function, modulation, attenuation and menu. We have to use function means we are using a sine wave. Frequency means you can vary the frequency. Attenuation means the voltage level you can vary it. Now it is 0 dB. 0 dB is the maximum voltage. So we have to press once, it has gone to 20 dB. That is less. But there also we cannot have 20 millivolts. So again you press it, make it 40 decibel. That means that is the minimum. Here you can adjust for 20 millivolt. We have to keep it 20 millivolt constant. So we have kept it here. Now look at this instrument, AC millivoltmeter. Here you can see a scale here, and here is a range selector is here. Here I have selected the range of 100 millivolt. 100 millivolt range I have selected. That means you have to see the lower scale. Here two scales you can see. One is upper scale is ranging from 0 to 3 and the lower one is ranging from 0 to 10. So whenever you are taking a range of multiples of 1, then you have to look at the lower scale. If you are taking a range of multiples of 3, then you have to look at the upper scale. Now, as I have selected 100 millivolt range, that is a multiple of 1, that means you have to look at the lower one. Now, if the needle is at 10, that means it indicates 100 millivolt. If the needle is at 8, that is 80. See, if needle is at 2, that means it is 20 millivolt. We have to make it 20 millivolt. This is little bit more than 20, so you just reduce this, make it, bring it at 2, that means it is 20 millivolt. So now the input signal is having 20 millivolt voltage and the frequency is 10 hertz. Now at that time, let us find out the output voltage. Now the output voltage is, it is 100 millivolt range. That is, again it is at the one line below 2, that means it is 1.8. 1.8, that means it is into 10, that is 18 millivolt. The output is 18 millivolt. We have given 20 millivolt, so we are getting 18 millivolt at the output. That means almost all the inputs are allowed to pass because the frequency is very less now. Now you note down this voltage, then what you have to do is again go back to the input, you vary the frequency. The frequency you have to vary up to 20 hertz. Now I am giving a 20 hertz signal with input voltage 20 millivolt. This one is little bit more. Now you make it constant. Always the input voltage should be always constant. This should be always constant. So it is 20 millivolt, 20 hertz frequency signal we are giving at the input. Now let us see what is the output. It will remain, now it is all 18 millivolt only. It is not going to increase or decrease. It remains constant almost. Because frequency we have a little bit of a change. Again that way you increase the frequency, you can increase the frequency up to 30 hertz in this range, because hertz. Now input signal is little bit is increased, make it 20. Now the input signal is 30 hertz frequency and 20 millivolt amplitude, that is given to the output. Take the output. Output is again 18 millivolt only. This way we can vary the frequency by keeping the input voltage constant. For that, now in this range, frequency range, we can go up to 30 only. If you want to go beyond 30, you press again this frequency knob once again, press. That means now we can go the frequency range from 30 hertz to 300 hertz. We can go from 30 to 300 hertz. So again you can start. Up to 30 we have the reading. You can go for 50. Go for 50, approximately 50 you can keep it. 50 hertz. Input signal is 20. Always whenever you are changing the frequency, you have to check the input voltage. Then you go to the output voltage. It is again at 18 millivolt only. You can now you vary the frequency up to 100 hertz. Vary up to 100 hertz frequency you can vary. Hertz. Voltage is 20 millivolt only. It is not 2, it is 20 millivolt. Take the output. It is still remaining constant. There is no variation because we are in the low frequency range only. Now you can go to 200. Frequency you can vary up to 200 hertz. 200 hertz. Input is 20 millivolt. Now get the output. Output is still 18 millivolt. Can go to 300. Directly you can go to 300. No problem. Input is again 20 millivolt. Go to output. No change, 18 millivolt. Now this range of frequency is up to 300 only. So we have to press once again. Now it can go up to 3 kilohertz. You can go up to 3 kilohertz. So 300 reading we have already taken. So you can take 500 hertz. 500 hertz. Hertz, and input voltage is 20 millivolt. Get the output. It is still 18 millivolt. Directly you can go to 1 kilohertz, that is 1000 hertz. 1 kilohertz means 1000 hertz. Okay, input is 20 millivolt. Always you have to check the input voltage. Little change is here. Input is input is 20 millivolt. No change in the output. You can go to 2 kilohertz, or let us see 1.5. 1.5 kilohertz. Now the input has gone little bit up, you have to make it exact 20 millivolt. Exact 20 millivolt. Take the output. Now the output has decreased a lot because we have changed the frequency from 1000 hertz to 1500 hertz. So in between there is a very large change in the output. So we have to take more readings in between 1000 and 1500 hertz. So we will start from frequency again, we will start from 1.1 kilohertz. There is a large change in the output, so we cannot do that. We will not get the exact value of the cutoff frequency. So we will go for small durations of the frequency. That means directly we will not go to 1.5 kilohertz. We will go to 1.1, 1.2 like that. So 1 kilohertz frequency reading is here. Now we will keep 1.1 kilohertz input signal. Frequency is 1.1 kilohertz and the voltage is 20 millivolt only. We will take the output. Now see, the output voltage has started decreasing. Now frequency is 1.16 kilohertz. Its exact value is 1.16 kilohertz and the output is, it is that is 16 millivolt it is. 1.6 means it is 16 millivolt. The output has started decreasing. As we increase the frequency, output will, that means the output is started attenuating. So it started attenuating because up to that particular frequency, up to 1 kilohertz, there was no attenuation. Whatever we have given at the input, that is passed, that all the signals are allowed to pass through this network. It is started attenuating. Now you can see the frequency you can increase 1.2 or 1.3 kilohertz I am keeping. Input voltage is 20 millivolt only. Take the output. So as the frequency increases, the output voltage is again decreasing. It has come to almost 1 point. This is 1 point. That is 12 millivolt. This 12 millivolt. That is 20. Again this is 10. After that one more line is there. That means it is 12 millivolt. Frequency is 1.3 and 12 millivolt is the output voltage. Now again go to the input. Change the frequency to 1.4 kilohertz. 1.4 kilohertz. Almost 1.4 kilohertz. Input is same. Take the output. It is output is again it is decreased. It is 10 millivolt. Output is decreased to 10 millivolt. Again you increase the frequency 1.5. 1.5 kilohertz. Little bit you have to adjust. 1.5 and input voltage is 20. Take the output. It is 8 millivolt. Output is 8 millivolt. Again if you increase, you can go up to 2 kilohertz. You can go up to 2 kilohertz. Input signal is 2 kilohertz frequency and input voltage is 20 millivolt. Take the output. It is 2 millivolt. The output is only 2 millivolt. Here you can stop the experiment. Now you can go up to the output has gone to 2 millivolt. That means almost 0. You can say that. So the reading whatever you have taken, that is good enough for our experiment. Now what you have to do is, we have got the table, that is with the frequency you are varying from 10 hertz, 20 hertz like that, we have varied up to 20 kilohertz. No, we have varied up to 2 kilohertz and corresponding output voltage we have on the table. Now we have to take a graph. On the x-axis we have to take frequency. Frequency, it is usually here frequency range is less, but usually the conventional method is you have to take the logarithmic frequency on the x-axis, and the y-axis we have to take the output voltage. We have to take the output voltage and we can draw the graph. We can plot the graph of frequency versus output voltage. That will give a frequency response. How the output voltage varies with respect to frequency. Here you can see we can see there are two bands. One is a stop band, another one is the pass band. Pass band means the frequency, in that band all the frequencies, that band of frequencies are allowed to pass, and the stop band means that band of frequencies are attenuated or they are rejected. That is not allowed to pass. That is the meaning. So we can find out the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter. We have to plot the graph. Then we have to find out the frequency at which the pass band gain, the 70% of the pass band gain, or the frequency at which the pass band gain has reduced to 0.707 times the pass band gain. That particular frequency is known as the cutoff frequency. That is, again I will tell you, that is the frequency at which the output voltage has reduced to 0.707 times the maximum output voltage. Maximum output voltage is your pass band gain, the voltage at the pass band. That is pass band gain. So from that, what we will do is, suppose we have got a pass band gain of or output voltage in the pass band as 18 millivolt. That is, the output voltage in the pass band is an 18 millivolt. So 18 millivolt into 0.707, whatever you are getting, that from corresponding to that voltage, we can find out the cutoff frequency. When you draw the graph, you can find out the cutoff frequency from the graph, and theoretically we can find out the cutoff frequency. For that there is a formula, that is 1 upon pi into under root of LC. 1 upon pi into under root of LC. L means inductor. Here inductor value is given. Here is a symbol of inductor. That is the value is 20 millihenry. Two inductors, it is 20 millihenry each, and here we have a capacitor 0.47 microfarad. So L and C values are available from the experimental board. Then you can theoretically calculate the cutoff frequency, and from the graph you will calculate the cutoff frequency. So both the cutoff frequencies should be matched. That means we have proved that low frequencies are allowed to pass and high frequencies are attenuated. That is the meaning of a low pass filter. Thank you.
So now, based on the result, we would like to talk about the graph. You can see here the table is generated out of the readings which we have taken, and in the second column we have taken the log of the frequency, log B5, 10. So you get log of the frequency and you get the output voltage, and these two columns we want to plot. This is on the x-axis, log F, and this is on the y-axis, that is the output voltage. And when you plot this, then you see that the output voltage is 18 volts, and then at a particular frequency it starts falling and you get the output voltage reducing to 0. So now if you see this graph, then all the frequencies over here, they are passed by the filter, while these frequencies do not appear in the output, and therefore it is said that they are stopped by the filter. The filter cutoff frequency is given by this value 1 upon pi into root LC, and from graph you can calculate the cutoff frequency by taking the half power point, that is 18 divided by root 2, and somewhere here you will get the cutoff frequency of the filter. So you have to take the calculated value from the graph and the theoretical calculated value and try and match the two frequencies. On a similar line, you have to perform all the 4 experiments, that is high pass T filter, low pass T filter, high pass pi filter and low pass pi filter. Thank you very much.